Good morning, good evening, depends where you are. I am Irene Wong, owner of the ballroom dance shop called Everything Ballroom, and also a pro-am competitor dancer for 17 years. I'm your host for Everything Ballroom. Our goal is to share the joys and benefit of ballroom dancing and to inspire others and to learn about this fascinating industry and also hopefully more people to join. And of course, please give us a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel, Everything Ballroom, and hopefully you like it. Today, this segment we have is called Everyone Can Ballroom. I truly believe that everyone can. I hope you check out some of the interesting story in the channel, including disabled people. And people didn't start dancing until they're 83. And now 93 is still going strong and competing on the dance floor. But anyways, today I'm very, very excited to have this guest to our show. He seems to be very shy and not the typical people saying, "Oh, ballroom dancer, that is it." And nobody will. He also break all the stereotype of the people on ballroom dancing. So I hope that you can learn from his story and prove us wrong that do not look at people from the outside and our perception of who will enjoy ballroom would not be the same. So without further ado, let me call out our guest, Jacob Chally. Yay!
Thank you, Irene. I'm really excited to be here tonight.
Great, great,
Also
great.
known as Chacha Chally, if you mind to see me on social media and everything. And there's a whole story behind that as well. We'll get into that in just a little bit, but
Great,
just
great. Chacha
excited.
Chally, that's what we're going to call you. So before we get started, can you share a little bit about you, who you are to the audience?
Well, I'm obviously Jacob Chally, and I live in the Nashville, Tennessee area in a town called Spring Hill, Tennessee. It's a booming suburb just about 45 minutes south of downtown Nashville. And, Nashville has a really great dance community. I take lessons at the Ballroom of Nashville, which, as of right now, we were kind of talking about this before we went live, that the Ballroom of Nashville has two separate entries on the Pro-Am Dance Sports Series rankings, but if you combined all the points together, we're actually number two right now. And so very highly competitive studio. And it's led by a man named Christopher Wayne, just a phenomenal, accomplished dance teacher. And I take lessons with a girl named Claire Ramage, and I just absolutely adore working with her. She is just super phenomenal and all correcting my technique and just giving me new creative ideas. I just love everything about her. And she'll be at Millennium next week working. So if you're all going to Millennium next week, please, if you see Claire Ramage, give her a shout and say, Jacob Chally says you're awesome. I can't.
Okay, great.
Oh.
Thank you for the little introduction. So sorry, I will just start the recording and try not to interrupt you. So tell us, when did you start dancing and how do you start dancing in the ballroom?
Well, I've always liked to dance, and it was something that I never really nurtured much over the years, but at times, I would go to, I think, growing up, I used to love to watch movies like Mary Poppins and loved dancing, step in time in the basement with my brother and just a bunch of other things. And I would go to various like church camps and stuff, and I would do little dances in front of everybody, but I never really nurtured that too much. And then I would say it was about 2009. I was a freshman in high school, and in my world history class that year, we were learning about World War II, and we watched a movie called Swing Kids, which is a movie about the underground movement in pre-war Nazi Germany, that where the youth kind of rebelled against the Nazi rule and danced to American and British swing music and underground clubs and stuff. It stars a young Christian Bale and Robert Sean
I think
Leonard
I
from,
watched that one. Yeah.
yeah, it's just a phenomenal movie. I just fell in love with dancing and that. So long story short, ever since that time, I've been wanting to learn. I wanted to learn how to swing dance after that. And there's a bunch of different types of swing dancing and Lindy Hop and a bunch of cool stuff in there, but never really did much with that. I kind of a couple of years later, I went through a phase that where I wanted to maybe act a little bit, but that never really went anywhere. And so then I guess fast forward to I moved from the so I should say I'm from the Chicago area originally, and I moved to Middle Tennessee in 2014, the Nashville area. Fast forward to 2019, so Nashville Metro Parks holds a big band dance every Saturday night during the summer by our version of the Parthenon in Centennial Park underneath the pavilion there, where they host a bunch of live big band dance and there's swing dancing, waltzing, and yeah, I just kind of that's when I was exposed to a little bit of ballroom for the first time, and I just kind of fell in love with it. And I had gone the last two Saturdays in it's only during June, July, and August during the summer on Saturday night, so it's actually going on right now as we speak. But
Go join and try it out then.
yeah,
People,
exactly. Maybe I'll go up there, but probably be too late after this. But um I fell in love with ballroom there, and I planned to go back the next summer and try it out some more at the Saturday night events, but that was 2020 and we all know what happened in 2020. Everything got shut down. And so that was that. Then the following year, I buy my current place that I'm living in right now and go down in here in Spring Hill, and I get connected with a church small group. And through that church small group, I met a guy by the name of Jonathan Paris, who is a dancer out of a local studio here in town, not the one I go to, but it's in Murfreesboro. And he kind of introduced the group to ballroom waltz, tango, some swing, those kind of things. And it was just a really fun lesson. I really remember just enjoying it so much, but once again, didn't really act on it too much. So, I mean, so many little hints here and there until finally about almost exactly 2 years ago, I'm actually here in Spring Hill at a local Chamber of Commerce event where I'm going around and there's a dance studio, there's a ballroom studio here in the next town over that was giving away free lessons. And so I'm not even making eye contact. I'm just kind of walking by and one of the girls shouts out, "Hey, would you like to sign up for a free dance lesson?" I'm like, sure. Can't dance very well,
great.
but
Why not?
famous last words. And just said, but that's where we can help you. That's what she said back to me. And I'm like, okay. So I sign up, and then a week later, I get a strange voicemail from a 931 number that I don't even recognize. And it's one of the instructors there inviting me to a free lesson. So we set up, we go and try my lesson. I went in with very low expectations, like, am I gonna like this? Am I gonna and so, but I tried my free lesson, then came back for a couple more lessons, and then I go to my first social dance party, and I just fell in love with it when I got to the profession when we got to the professional performances. I'm seeing this and like, you can actually dance to these songs because I always love to listen to music and stuff, and you can actually do choreographed routines. I kind of felt like, Dick Van Dyke is a great example. He didn't start dancing until he was in his 30s, and he always used to say like, where has this been all my life? And he's still dancing now in his 90s, and it's just great. I had my Dick Van Dyke moment. I'm like, where has this been all? Sorry, folks, I'm kind of having something on my lip there, but but there we go. It's just like, where has this been all my life? And I'm just seeing, the instructors just perform these numbers, and I just was hooked. And the rest, as you say, is history. I was there at that studio for about just under a year, and then decided to move to the Ballroom of Nashville for various reasons, and have been working with Claire ever since. And it's been a very wonderful partnership. We just competed in the Fort Lauderdale Classic about almost 2 weeks ago with Tommy DiDamaso's one day comps down in Florida, and we won top solo for.
Woo!
I won my first top solo award this last week, and so I've only done about 3 competitions so far, but I got some pretty ambitious plans for the future, Lord willing, if everything works out.
I'm sure it will. It will. So, what do you think? Now you have 2 years into the ballroom dance world, and what is the benefit or the changes or surprises or whatever you say through your journey, right? You have no expectation to come in, and by accident, by free lessons that you joined, but now after 2 years, I know you're very passionate about it now and what is the change and how do you see the change and the benefit of the ballroom dancing to you?
There's been a lot of benefits. I think anybody who has known me for a long time has seen a big change in my attitude and outlook on life in the last couple of years. Before this, I tended to be very I pessimistic at times, and just, I didn't really have, I was kind of, I felt like a couple of years before this, I was kind of just wandering in the wilderness as far as like I wasn't really sure where I was going, what I wanted to do. I mean, I had a, I wouldn't say my life was like totally bad. I mean, I have a lot of great things. My family is just absolutely wonderful. I have a wonderful, loving parents who have supported me, and loving siblings and sibling in-laws as well. And they're just absolutely and I'll get to that in a little bit later, but I just, since starting ballroom dancing, I feel like I've been more optimistic, more goal driven. It's helped me improve in other areas in life, and given me a drive in order to just not only just try new things, but also just succeed in new things as well. I mean, I just, recently I just got my insurance license here in Tennessee, and I've gotten the other thing about me is, I've kind of taken a few new jobs in the last couple of years just because of some circumstances, but going through the job hunting process, it's helped me become more organized and optimistic and more goal driven, and it's just been wonderful. And then, my physical health has just gotten a lot better. I was more chunkier before all this started, and while I still have some work to do there, I've gotten much better shape, and it's just made me so much more happier. I mean, I just love going into the studio every day and talking to people and catching up with people and saying, how's your day been? How's it going? And then we talk about dance, what showcases are you doing? What competitions are you coming up here? How's your open choreography coming with? How's your showcase routine come in? I mean, did you get this pattern down? How's the technique? And just all this different. I just love talking about this kind of stuff. It's just so fun. I had no idea about any of this before. Because the one thing I will say is you know, I never was exposed to this growing up, and I would have been doing this years ago if I had known. And we can talk a little bit more about that in a second, but I'm really disappointed that I never was in. That's my only regret, is I wasn't introduced to this sooner.
Yeah, I mean, I am passionate about this, and then I have this YouTube channel about this segment. It is because of that. Like what you said, a lot of people do not know that, and they didn't get a chance, like what you said, especially for young gentlemen like you, right?
Well,
In the
because
bottom
most
competitive.
dance, I'm sorry to interrupt, but most dance that we are exposed to, like I went to public high school, but all the dance teams were all girls. It was mostly like contemporary and all those different kinds of dances. But ballroom and partnership was never, existed. Now today there is a studio in my hometown of Geneva, Illinois. It's called Vargo's Dance, and it opened, I think, like maybe 2 years before I moved down to Tennessee. But I haven't been back up there yet to visit it, but I'd love to go back someday. But, you know, most of the time when I was growing up, we didn't have like a ballroom studio. It just never was something I was exposed to. And it's disappointing, but as they say, better late than never.
Yes, 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 exactly. I'm hoping, better late than never, and everyone can do, right? You didn't expect that. You said you're choppier, but now the benefit of it is both physical and mind improvements, right? So for life,
Yes.
especially after COVID, a lot of people, and then we talk about a lot of depression and things like that. I keep
Oh
saying
yeah, I
that.
mean, I had a really bad case of COVID in 2021 that really I felt like my brain was really fogged for a long time after that and just
Oh,
kind of post-COVID, fatigue and this kind of really helped. I mean, it was already going away even before that, but this really helped kind of put all that to bed for good.
this is wonderful. I'm hoping more people, see what you do and then learn about it,
Yeah.
especially, young gentlemen. We need more young gentlemen in
Yes,
this
we do. And
industry.
especially I would just encourage, even if you're introverted, just go and try it out. I mean, you know, of course, I will acknowledge there can be an intimidation factor and just going to, especially when there's a lot of girls that can dance really well. I mean, we have some A girls at my studio that are just phenomenal dancers. And sometimes I just kind of feel a little intimidated, but it's like, one thing I also have learned from this is that everybody is on their own journey, and it's not good to compare yourself to others. And so, yeah, there are some challenges as a gentleman, so there's not as many guys that compete. I can't compete as much as I would like to, but I like to go at my own pace. I think my instructor has repeatedly reassured me that, I'm on the right path. Just focus on good quality dancing and don't worry about rushing into silver, gold open patterns or anything within what you want to do and just focus, take it at your own pace and you will grow over time as a result. I mean, one good example of that was a couple months ago. I was a little frustrated. We were starting to do a new routine for our spring show at our studio. And, it wasn't really going super well. There was a lot of, advanced, samba patterns in this particular team, which I hadn't really dove into that much yet. And it just, I was getting a little frustrated and, I just kind of decided after some searching of like, okay, you know what? We're going to put this off to the fall, and then we're just going to focus on really reinforcing what we've already have done for this Fort Lauderdale competition that we did. And it paid off. We did a lot better in both smooth and I've competed in both smooth and rhythm rounds. I won the majority of my contested heats. I got a third in my smooth multi, won some scholarship money, and got a top solo. I don't think any of
Woo!
that would have happened if I would have just rushed through this routine and then had very little time to practice my general dancing for that. And I know I kind of got a little off topic there, but
No, no, no.
I
This
just,
is very important for a lot of people as well. And I think a lot of students or dancers I saw is that they get frustrated and they felt that they didn't achieve the rating of what they want and they quit. What you said also is hopeful for a lot of people and said everybody's journey is different. Focus on your own, right? Find what is make you
yes.
happy, find what is make you feel good. It's better to do it right than rushing into different level. People may dance a long time, people maybe have a different potential, and just focus on self has been a critical important element, I believe.
Absolutely, absolutely. And another thing about this industry, there can be a lot of peer pressure when
A lot.
seeing what comps other students are going to and feeling like, oh, I got to get there. Otherwise, I'm not like, I tend to struggle, another thing I will say, going back to your question before about what benefits it's brought me, is that I kind of historically struggled with a FOMO complex, which is fear of missing out. Like if I
Mm,
wasn't going to this and or X, Y, and doing this X, Y, and Z, then I'm not really progressing or I'm missing out on a bunch of things and they're all having all these experiences that I shouldn't have and or I should be having as well. And, this has helped me, and especially, my instructor, Claire has just been absolutely wonderful in that regard and really kind of helping to reassure me that no, you don't have to be comparing yourself. You're not missing out on stuff just because you can't go. Focus on what you can do, focus on what you're trying to do, and just work from there and just focus on good quality dancing. And, she says, a lot of judges at these competitions are just really looking for good quality dancing. If they
right.
can have somebody do just some lead follow in these comps and do it really well versus somebody that is doing open choreography but is not the technique is not quite right, judges will value, from what I've heard, good quality technique. And if you're just doing lead and follow over just the flashy open stuff or anything like that.
Yeah, so I have a segment called Ask the Judge or Dancers Professional to talk about what they're looking for. That's exactly right, especially the beginning. And also, one thing you mentioned I want to call it out is your instructor. Find the right instructor. So enforcement, positive instructor is so important to our journey, right? So instead of someone just pushing you, but focus on taking your money, and looking for someone that really do care and really focus on guiding us individually as our journey and supportive of our wants instead of a pushing to do, some other people do or money oriented. So I think you're very lucky to have this teacher. And then we actually now understanding our journey do relate it to who our professional instructor is.
Absolutely. And again, I can't say enough good things about Claire Ramage. And I told you earlier, if you see her at Millennium, just give her a shout out. And she's just awesome. Get to know her a little bit. She has been dancing, unlike me, she was exposed to this as a little girl from her father. And so she's been dancing for over 20 years. I think she's about a year or two younger than I am. And so we're pretty close in age, but she was exposed to it at a young age and she's been working on her craft for over 20 years. And you can definitely see it in the way, you know, and I have to give a shout out to my previous instructors at the other studio as well, Carly and Hannah. They were both phenomenal in just getting me introduced to the ballroom world and getting me a good solid foundation. But since going to Claire, I feel like my technique has improved so much, which has helped me build so much more confidence on the competition floor. And it's just been absolutely, wonderful. Again, I just going back to just having her help me focus on taking my time on this. We would not have had such a great weekend 2 weeks ago if I had just wanted to do what I like to do, because I like to try to jump ahead on a lot of things. And I'm just like, oh, we got to be doing that. I want to do this and that and that. I just get so excited. I'm like, I always compare myself in the dance world to like a kid at the candy shop. Sorry again. I'm just just kind of I'm getting so excited that I'm kind of spitting a little bit, but like I always compare myself to a kid at the candy shop, ooh, I want this, I want that, I want this. And it's just, you know, sometimes that's not always, you can have that eventually, but it's not always, you got to have your meat and potatoes first before you can have the dessert, so to speak.
I like what you said also, right? There is a lot of people, they joined very short time and then trying to jump over. And it's good. Of course, I like that too, because that's me. But of course, we need to trust our professional, and understanding they are having the best in their heart to guide us through our journey and no rush to it. It's like the parent is like, the kid's boundary. So
Yes, exactly. And then you want to like, I want to go this, and she's like, get back here.
exactly. So I
And I
think that's
love how, and she's also, willing to get stern with me at times and be like, hey, you shouldn't be doing that, and get back.
right.
No, she does that because she cares.
Right. So that's why I'm saying find the teacher that care is super important to our journey success, right? So, okay, the last question is that, while for people that not in the dance world, right? And what would you say to them that haven't been to the ballroom dance world? What would you say to them?
I would say, you know what? Give it a try. You just never know where things could lead. I know the excuse, I have two left feet. Oh, I don't have any rhythm. Oh, I can't dance on time. I just am just so proud of when I see people trying it out for the first time and they just do well. So, right before this, I was actually out dancing at a local 55 plus community here. There's a local instructor here in Spring Hill. Her name is Chelsea Knutson, and she teaches the 55 plus community at this local community. And, her and I have built a relationship over the last year, and she invites me to go out and dance, with them. And I was just talking with one of them before we came in. She's like, you're young and everything, but some of us have bad backs and stuff, but we're out here, trying our best and doing, and I'm just so proud of that, just people just giving it a try. So I would just say to the people, give it a try, find a good, reputable studio in your area. Just go and try a group class or something. If you're in the Nashville area, Claire teaches a ballroom basics group class every Tuesday night where she starts out with the basics, throws in maybe a little bit advanced, as the weeks go on, but every month it's just a different dance, rumba, cha-cha, and just find a group class and just give it a try. Even if you don't have a partner, the the ballroom world is very open-minded. People will dance with you and you can meet great new people and new friends, and you can discover, something, that you never even knew existed, and have a blast. I mean, I have met so many great people since in this industry, like yourself and a bunch of instructors all, and it's improved my social life, so much. And you just got to give it a try. I mean, I wasn't really sure about where this would go when I wasn't even sure if I was going to go beyond my free lesson. And now I have aspirations to try to qualify for show dance at Ohio Star Ball, best of the best, which we got a long way to go before that, but
You
I
get a
think
try.
we're on the right path.
Exactly. And
You
I
just
also
never know.
Yeah, you really never know and try. And in our YouTube channel, I also teach some basic share. I can say teach, share some basic step for someone to get familiar before you go to class if you're very timid about that as well. And then online, there's so many free basic steps so you can get started and get yourself familiar and understanding, and then go to try out a dance lesson. So, and then feel the industry, and then the people, to me, is the best, because the ballroom dance world is such a positive and happy environment, right? I love that
Yeah,
community.
and I've met again, I would just say, and then a lot of instructors will have introduction specials where they'll say you can get, two private lessons for this amount, and just give it a try. And like you were saying before, shop around a little bit. I mean, we have several great studios here in the Nashville. So I go to the Ballroom of Nashville. It's probably the top studio in the area, but another great studio is Ballroom Dance Studios. I don't know if you're familiar with Brooke and Devin McClish.
not me, but
They're
and Google, and then I can put some in the link in our detail for people that in the area to know as
yeah.
well.
So Ballroom Nashville, Ballroom Dance, Brooke and Devin McClish, they're another great studio. One of the people that so they have somebody there that his name is Benny Smith, and he was actually the number 2 amateur last year on the World Pro Am Dance Sports Series rankings, right behind Jerry Bursch. And he lives right here in Spring Hill as well, but he goes to Ballroom Dance Studios with Brooke and Devin McClish, and getting to know him over the last year has just been absolutely phenomenal. He actually used to go to the studio that I started out with as well, but eventually decided to go with start competing with Brooke McClish, and he's had so much great success. And another thing I will say about for especially for guys, it's really important to find other guys as well that have been on the journey and just kind of try to be mentored by them in some ways, even if it's only very sporadically. So Benny Smith has been a very big influence on me. Another one is Claire's other big competition student. His name is David Mitchell. Very successful guy. He's been working with Claire for about 3 years and has been going around to different competitions and just had so much success. And just getting to know him, and he sent me a very encouraging, text message after the morning after our competition, and just saying, you'll get to the top, just trust Claire and really work on it. And so just find, especially for guys, it's just good to find other guys who have been there and been along the journey and just really kind of learn from them and kind of sit at their feet and just kind of be mentored. And so those are the two, and there's been plenty of other people as well, don't get me wrong, but those are the two guys that, at least on the guys side, that I look up to so much, and it's just been wonderful.
Yeah, and my everything ballroom or ask the judges and things like that. You can see there's a couple guys as well because that not many guys in the ballroom dancing. So I specifically pull out guys in my interviews. So we need more guys and in the ballroom dance world. So this
Yes, and I would love to connect with you. If you're watching this, you can DM me at chacha chally 93 on Instagram. And I also have a YouTube channel where I posted a few of my routines, as well as the Cha-Cha Chally song, which someday is, so I'm not sure there's a whole story behind this as well. I'm not sure if you're familiar with the Chili Cha-Cha by Jessica J.
no, but I will make sure all this information of you, the YouTube, Instagram will be in the detail of
Okay.
our interview, so people can
Okay.
go into the detail and have the link.
Okay, that's great. I just wanted to tell the little story about, so, back in high school, the whole Cha-Cha Chally thing came about because there was old commercials for those, those old Chia Pet toys where people, it goes, Chia, 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 Chia. People used to go, Cha-Cha-Cha Chally. And so I'm like, when I started this, I'm like, okay, I guess you could just call me Cha-Cha Chally then. And when I started learning the cha-cha, and then I decided, one day so there's a chili cha-cha, but it goes, Bala chili cha-cha, bala chili cha, bala dance your cha-cha, cha something or other. And so I rewrote the lyrics, re-recorded it. It goes, dance the chali cha-cha, dance the chali ta, dance the chali, dance your cha-cha, dance the cha-cha chali. So yeah, so someday we're gonna choreograph that and make a video out of it.
I
But
am sure we will. We're gonna do that for sure.
we are definitely going to do it. It's just a matter of when and getting all the logistics together, and stay tuned. It could be a little while because we got a lot on our plate right now, but stay tuned.
I'm sure we'll stay tuned. So thank you so much for sharing. Anything else before we close up this interview that you want to share?
I think we've covered everything. I would just really encourage, I know I don't fit the typical, pro-am competitive dancer profile, but seriously, especially to the guys out there, give it a try. You just never know where things can lead, and it does not have to be embarrassing or intimidating. And just take your time. People are very supportive in this industry. and they will come alongside you and just dance with you and guide you. And, it's just changed my life so much. And, if you ever want to, Irene will put my things in the comments
in the
section. Feel free to reach out to me on social media. I love connecting with people, and I would love to really just continue to learn more. And hey, if you want me to come work your competition, I can do that as well.
Great, great. We're going to put it out as the competition events organizer may want to help out.
Okay. So
Thank you. Thank you so, so much. Grateful for you.
thank you very much. I appreciate it.
So thank you. We have a great interview, and hopefully you enjoy the interview and give us a thumbs up and subscribe to channel. And the most supportive things that you do is share our channel to others, and hopefully you'll get more people seeing the industry. And I would like to introduce our next guests, which are amazing. We have a segment called Ask the Judge and Dancers, professional or very successful dancers. And next time is July 8th, Monday, 9 p.m. Eastern Time. We're going to have Andrea and Natalie Paramano, who are three-time world professional and U.S. professional rhythm champions and two-time world professional Latin champion showcase. And they are amazing. They will be here talking to us live on the 8th. Please bookmark and book in your calendar and follow us on Everything Ballroom. We have a Facebook group. We also have a Facebook page. So, Instagram page as well. Follow, and we're going to have more of these wonderful dancers and wonderful people to share with you. Thank you so much, and have a good day.